The Land of Waves arc was a historically great start to any anime ever. The hype of Zabuza, Haku, and Naruto in the Nine Tails mode was going to be hard to follow up for any show, but the Chunin Exams is one of the greatest arcs in anime history without a doubt. Even though Zabuza arc might be one of the greatest starts, the Chunin Exam is what made Naruto an instant classic. Every other arc after this could have been terrible, and we still would have cited back to this arc as one of the greatest arcs ever. We're going to be going over the start of this arc and how they started this great story here. When Naruto transitions back to Konoha, Sasuke is still talking mad loud as if Naruto didn't just save him. He's still saying all this stuff like, you need to be better than me, you need to surpass me, I want to fight you. And honestly, that's still pretty hype, because even though Naruto won and beat Haku, I'm pretty sure Sasuke was knocked out and really had no clue what happened. After that, Sakura is showing some doubts. Sasuke's like, you really gotta start working, like where me and Naruto at least are excelling, what are you doing? And then after that, Kakashi just goes off, and then they run into the sand village shinobi in the village. And the Genin from the sand, you see Garra, and you know he's cold. The way that they showed off Kankuro at the beginning of the story was actually really funny. He just seemed like a complete menace. And then you have Tamari, who has this weird attitude, and then Garra, who is so cold. But when they show him off at first, he's really acting like a menace, throwing rocks at them. And then you immediately get Sasuke showing up there, and you already see, okay, this rivalry is about to be settled at some point in the story. At that moment, you knew the two of them were going to fight. Then they progress, and you have the Jonin meeting with the Hokage, and they're talking about setting up the Chunin Exams and sending Naruto and all of his classmates really to the Chunin Exams. And at this point, you haven't seen his other classmates, and Iruka is bugging out. Iruka is like, why are we going to send them off to the Chunin Exams? Like, yeah, they took on Zabuza, but they almost died, and he knows better than anybody what level they're all at, because he also feels like he's their father. Those are his children. Like, he really helped them grow up. Then now you're going to send them off to this Chunin Exams, and at this point, we don't really know much about it, but from the way Iruka is acting, and the way that Kurenai, Asuma, and Kakashi react to saying, yeah, we'll send our ninja out there, you can really tell that the Chunin Exams is definitely not going to be any easy task. And then when Kakashi goes back and tells them, yeah, you guys can enlist, at the end of the day, it's up to you, and I need all three of you. And immediately you can see that effect of what happened in the Zabuza arc and how it affects all three of them. Naruto and Sasuke, of course, are like, yes, let's do it. And Sakura is like, I'm not sure if I'm ready for this. Like, you could really die out there, and she might really just hold the other two back. But in the end, of course, you know that she's gonna go. But it was a cool dichotomy there, and it gave Sakura some depth, especially pre-time skip. Sakura had moments that were pretty alright, and she was way more of a developed character than she obviously turned out to be in Shippuden. But it was cool to see real character conflict there. And then when they actually go to the center to get tested, immediately you're introduced to a lot more characters. You see a bunch of people that are in Naruto's age range, some of them from Konoha, some of them from Sound. And the Sound Ninja, you can immediately tell something is off with them. You can see that they're all standing outside the room and they're all interacting in this really cool way of portraying early conflict, because they're all arguing about the room, and you can see that some of them are really angsty, and you can already understand these characters that you just saw, and you can tell based on their headband, like, okay, are these Naruto's classmates, are these people from the village, or are these people from other villages? Obviously, Sakura then gets that immediate moment of confidence, kind of resolving that whole plotline very quickly in a couple chapters, that she was the one that really helped Sasuke decipher that they weren't on the right floor, of course, and that it was just a transformation. And then after that, like I was saying, you're introduced to all these characters, one of them being Lee. And then all of a sudden, Lee pulls up to fight and wants to fight Sasuke and Naruto right there. Well, I believe he wants to fight Sasuke, and Naruto, of course, he gotta show him what's up too. And you have to think, Sasuke and Naruto are coming off Zabuza. Like, Zabuza is a demon, an absolute menace to the max. Like, they obviously think they can handle some kid with a brow cut in a jumpsuit. So, obviously, we all know what happens. Naruto gets rolled, like he wasn't even in the fight, really. And Sasuke uses his Sharingan, and for the first time ever, we saw Haku mess up Sasuke really bad. But we could tell Haku had a different upbringing than them. He wasn't cut from the same cloth as the other characters. But we never seen Sasuke get rolled by someone from the village his age, and we immediately can tell what the sense of progression is going to be. Like, Sasuke and Naruto are nowhere close to where they need to be, and they're a lot more relative to their classmates than we might have thought. Even though they're the main cast, they have a long way to go. And then after that, the fight gets resolved with Guy coming in, and it's pretty crazy because you get introduced to Jonin and you understand the levels. Like, you saw it with Kakashi, but you really understand the levels after that point. In the build up to the exam too, you saw Kabuto, who at the time seemed like an okay character. He had this really cool thing with the cards and people's abilities. You could tell that he was definitely gathering research, which was good foreshadowing. And also, I kind of wish the card stuff came back, but it didn't. But yeah, Kabuto's introduction was a really sly way of showing why he was really there, to gather intel. The actual test is one of the coolest ways of portraying any form of examination within any anime, I think, ever. So you have all the characters there, and they're literally taking a written test. You see the entire cast, all the characters you've been introduced to up to this point. And this is a really good way of portraying every character and their traits and their specialties and how they think about things. Naruto is sitting there bugging out about the test. Sakura is literally just taking the test. And all of the other characters figured out what they're supposed to be doing. The test is not to see if you can pass. It's to see, can you cheat and use your abilities and your resources to figure out the answers and get through this examination. And the exam is structured in a way where there's 9 questions, and I think it's like the last half hour you get the last question. So all these characters are using their abilities, and you can see how all of their brains work in different ways to figure out the answers. You got Garra with the eyeball, Sasuke using his Sharingan to see what answers people are writing down. So it's really interesting, and it's a good way to showcase abilities. And then you get to the last question, and this is what I really like. So the last question, before they give it to you, they say, you cannot pass the test if you fail this question. You can leave right now, and you will have another chance next year, or you can stay, but if you fail this question, you will never ever be able to go out for the Chunin exams ever again. So this is where you're really testing the wits of the characters. Kishimoto wrote in characters that literally left because they crumbled under the pressure and they screwed over their entire cell, which is a really awesome way of showing the stakes and really building tension. And you can see, like, you're like, Naruto at this point had not answered a single question, and you really could test his wits there to see that he stuck it down and he was going to figure out the answer to that question regardless. And of course, we all know what happens. When the question is revealed, it is not a question at all. It's if you had the guts and the will to sit in that chair and risk your entire, essentially, ninja career over one question. And if you have the gall to do that, you have the wit to be a ninja. Because at the end of the day, a test has nothing to really do with being a ninja. It's nothing matters about information. It's how you act on the information you have and how you make do the situation you're in, which is a real trait of a ninja. Your adaptability as a ninja is what matters over everything. And honestly, I thought that was an amazing way to portray the story and an amazing way to introduce all these characters, all these abilities, these new concepts, these world buildings, the nation's Geni, and how to become a Chunin. That spectacle really helped you understand all these new characters very quickly and very effectively. That is all I have for you today. Of course, we have the forest next. If you want a video on that, let me know in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe, and we're just getting started. So I'll stay consistent, and I'll see you in the next video.